Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Tonight, News at 10 can reveal the extraordinary anguish of one British Muslim family's fateful attempt to help their daughter escape the clutches of the so-called Islamic State in Syria. Khadija Sultana was one of 3 teenage schoolgirls who willingly left their comfortable, loving homes in Bethnal Green, East London, last year to join the violent extremist group. But tonight we have the story of how Khadija became disillusioned with life in the medieval terror state and made plans to flee. Her family were formulating a plan to get her out of the group's headquarters in Raqqa and into Turkey, where they hoped to be reunited. But Khadija was killed before she could escape.
It's 18 months since they left. First to Turkey, then to Syria. 3 heartbroken families were left behind. ITV News has followed their stories. We travelled to Istanbul to trace the girls' route.
I don't really recognise my sister, the video, the CCTV we saw, because this is just not her.
But ever since, they've been trying to get them back to London. Tonight, we reveal how one of the girls wanted to return and her family's extraordinary attempts to orchestrate it after making contact from their East London home.
Things have changed. The way she used to communicate with me, the way she used to talk about things is totally changed to what up until now she's scared of being there.
Her sister is Khadija Sultana, who was 16 years old when she left.
And then she told me that she got a job.
This is the start of a chain of events, of emotional exchanges that will end in tragedy. Khadija has told them the man she married in Syria has been killed and she wants to come back. From Raqqa, she's arranged a conversation with her sister.
I don't have a good feeling, I feel scared.
Well, you feel scared?
To do this. Yeah.
Why do you feel scared?
You know, if something goes wrong, like, that's it.
I know what you mean.
I'll never be able to.
I understand what you mean, and it is, you know, from where you are, I can understand that, you know, you're feeling like that is not abnormal. But the only thing I would say to you is just trust us.
You know, the borders are closed right now. So how am I going to get out? I'm not going to go through PKK territory to come out. I'm never going to do that ever.
They want her to leave in the back of a cab to get to a safe house.
Which side of the park is it on?
But first they have to establish her current location.
It's a square park, right? It's called Al-Baik. You know, the spelling is A-L and Baik is B-A-I-K. But how confident are you, like, say, when things are put in place and you have to get on a cab? How confident are you feeling in terms of just that?
Zero. Where's Mom?
Mum's home.
No, I want to speak to her.
You can call anyone at Mum's. She sounds very terrifying, you know, and she did get very emotional there as well. It just feels, well, I really feel helpless, really, thinking, you know, if I can just sit here, what can I do? It's really hard. I don't think she's ever made a choice by herself, has she?
No,
anything.
that was the first one.
That was the first one and a very big one. But she's actually never ever made a choice by herself. I kind of just look forward for the next call. And that's what keeps me going. Okay, I know someday she's going to contact me and that's it.
But there wouldn't be many more conversations like this. The family received a call to say Khadija had been killed in an airstrike. This can't be verified, but the calls home have now stopped. Today, their former lawyer said there should be lessons for anyone trying to travel to Syria.
It's most unfortunate that that this situation has arisen, and one would hope that the only benefit out of this is as a tombstone and a testament to others of these are the risks actually involved in going to a war zone, to dissuade people from ever making that choice, really.
But Khadiza didn't travel alone, and we don't know the intentions or the fate of the other girls she travelled to Syria with.
Rohit joins me in the studio now. Rohit, it's a heartbreaking story, but it's also incredibly sobering that it's all too easy to leave to join IS. Incredibly difficult and tragic to leave.
Some do try, many do fail, and as you say, this was incredibly heartbreaking for the family of Khadiza Sultana, who had to deal with her departure first, then to try to comprehend the decision, and to finally now to deal with her death. And this was not something that they were hoping for at the back of their minds. They were every day actively trying to make this happen, trying to formulate that plan. But she appears to have made the same decision that so many British jihadists eventually do when they get to the so-called Islamic State, that the propaganda that they'd seen beforehand did not match the reality of life there. And so often, as appears to have been the case here, the equation leads to a simple conclusion that the risk of leaving and potentially being caught is greater than the risk of staying and potentially being killed by an airstrike, as appears to have happened here.
And what was really revealing, the insights into that piece that you did, was the extent to which the detailed plan that the family were trying to go through, looking at GPS images of trying to walk her through safe houses in and around Raqqa.
That's right. This plan was as complex as it was desperate. Satellite images, regular phone calls, the future use of that car band of a safe house. Remember, though, it was her decision to stay. It was her decision to go in the first place, a decision that so many millions of Syrians wish they had. And it now appears that she's the first British female to have been killed in the caliphate since the launch of so-called Islamic State.
Revealing report. Rohit, thank you very much indeed.